Good morning. If you're like 99% of Americans, the odds are you never read your fine print. And no wonder. The stuff is so small, it goes on forever. It's overwhelming. Who has time to read all that stuff? Who knows what's in there? Friends, we become the fine print nation. We're powered by a $250 billion annual fine print economy. It doesn't make any sense. Transparency Labs is dedicated to changing this by making simplicity, clarity, and transparency the standard for all consumer financial agreements, all agreements at the 9th grade reading level. Our vision is transparency, and we're designing solutions to deliver for you that deliver with it a dividend. We call it a transparency dividend. And probably the largest transparency dividend available today is inside the fine print of the nation's retirement system. Last month at the White House Conference on Smart Disclosure, I described a transparency solution for America's retirement system. And today, I want to introduce it to you because for you, it provides enormous commercial and civic opportunities for your companies, for your employees, and even for your own families. So if you're a bank like Citi or Wells, you have an extraordinary opportunity to help people and raise your share of the IRA rollover market. And if you're an impact investor, you have a huge opportunity to achieve a win-win for young people or for the unbanked. If you're a fund manager like LPL or Fidelity or Schwab, you have an enormous opportunity to slow the huge annual outflow of accounts. If you're a tech investor, you have a brand new technology tool to disrupt an enormous financial services segment with. If you're a consumer financial services company like USAA or Intuit, H&R Block or Experian, you have an urgent and compelling way to help your customers. And if you're a blogger or a media outlet like CNN Money or Forbes, you have a vital message to get out to your readers. So let me describe it to you. Do you know when the best time to plant a tree is? 30 years ago. Well, 30 years ago, the seeds of the 401k program were planted. And since then, its roots have blossomed and spread into the largest forest of savings in American history, trillions of dollars. So friends, do me a favor, raise your hand if you or someone in your family has a 401k account. And now look around. See, at Finovate, sometimes the greatest innovations in financial technology are right before your eyes, and we miss it. You remember what Albert Einstein called the most powerful force in the universe? He said it was compound interest. And today, compounding 401k funds are vitally important to the national interest. Along with Social Security, that is what our people will rely on in their retirements. But in the 30 years since that seed was planted, 3 things have changed forever. 3 things that dramatically touch every one of us in this room. First, we're living much longer. So it didn't matter if you retired at 65 and died at 72. The financial retirement equation wasn't so important for you. Today, most of you in this room will retire before 63 and most likely will live beyond 93. So those monies have got to last. Second, these 401k dollars are far more important than the program ever assumed because other sources of wealth have dwindled and diminished in the downturn. So the 401k is now vitally important to the retirement economics. And third, we change jobs far more often. Gone are the days when the plan was developed when people had one job forever. Now Americans change jobs constantly. One out of every 6 or 7 Americans will change their job this year. And that is the precise point where there's an enormous transparency dividend waiting for you. Here's why. It turns out that when people change jobs, 4 out of 10 of them cash out the money they worked so hard to save. 40% of people walk away. They do it primarily because of lack of transparency and clarity. The money just leaves the system. Most workers have no idea that they're going to be hit with up to 42% of taxes and fees and penalties when they cash out. nor that when they do, they leave behind the most powerful force in the universe that can grow their money exponentially. Nor that they generally have better options for those monies if they need cash. They have no clue. And that is the transparency hole. And 40% of Americans are falling right through it. This one hole, this one crack, will cause $80 billion to fall out of the retirement savings system this year. $80 billion. And think what the compounding does on $80 billion a year. Maybe 30 to 40, 300 to 400 billion perhaps. So herein lies your opportunity for a huge transparency dividend. Because from 3 years of tests, recently announced, we know that we can cut cash outs by as much as 50% at job transition. And we know we can go further. We believe we can go further. All through a simple technology at the front end for the consumer and a back end technology that makes the flow of very complicated paperwork automatic. So friends, this is where you come in. We've got a triple bottom line solution. It can save billions for the retirement system. It can dramatically improve people's individual financial outcomes, and it creates huge benefit for your industry, for the financial services industry. Everyone wins. When people don't cash out, their chance of financial success at retirement goes up. When they don't cash out, the nation's financial obligations to that family in old age go down. When people don't cash out, your companies and the financial services industry has more money to service and support. This is the transparency dividend. Your company can unlock it. And what's more, you can help put an end to the fine print economy in the retirement sector. Sure, the best time to plant a tree is 30 years ago. And the second best time is now. Come talk to me after the break and I'll show you how it works for your company. Thank you.